actually people liked him.
I don't think I know that one.
It's my second in the Steve Williams series.
I didn't read that series.
Yeah,
that was the series I didn't get to.
Yeah, that one. He's my secondary villain. The primary villain is in the beginning of the book is a faceless person who you don't know who it is.
Sure.
Because it's sort of a mystery. But Charlie Wisniewski is a cocaine drug king. Under with a hello with a business, with an above board business.
Yep.
And my Steve Williams, who's my FBI agent at that point, is put into undercover in the organization as one of his accountants, one of his money launderers. Oh yes, so it's interesting, and making him more evil. I don't know. I kind of I made him likable and hateable. So he's one of the more complex characters that, people are like, ooh, he's kind of scary, sort of like, well, Homelander, there's no redeeming quality.
No, he's pure evil.
Yes.
We should put the
we're talking about villains.
We should put the question out to the audience, because I know we've got some watching already.
Yes.
What are some key traits that you think make a villain truly detestable? And while we wait for answers on that, hey guys, it's Saturday night, so welcome for another episode of Spilling Ink. We're the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the authors and professionals in the publishing industry. And it's summer already. Where the heck did the year go?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I've been, 3 weeks? Has it been? I don't know when we were on last.
Yeah, I want to say it's been about 3 weeks. You look like you got some sun.
Yeah, just a little. It was sunny and cool today here. So it was in the mid 60s. So you didn't know you were burning.
Okay.
And I sat out from like 9 in the morning until we went to dinner.
Ooh, that's a lot of sun.
Well, I had short sleeves on and the V-neck, but yeah, I got a little.
Just a little. Oh, we got an answer here from Anita. Murdering children.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't come back from murdering children or dogs.
Yes, but I'm not the worst puppy killer.
No, you're not. No.
I don't have that crown.
Wanted to throw that book across the room.
Yes.
Stop giving that girl a dog.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, no. Apart from that, because in the situation we were talking before, that may be outside the realm.
Well, okay. So if we're talking, things you can't come back from.
Yes.
Murdering kids, yeah.
Absolutely.
Murdering animals, yeah. But in scenes, when you get a good villain scene, because a lot of us love our villains. We love to see the evil people play out in the scene. What is it that really makes the villain feel villainous without the campy lines or the the monologuing that some series do?
Right.
What really outlines the villain for you when they're acting in a scene? Because that's been my problem. I'm working on a book right now where I need to make my villain a little bit more evil in his interactions with his minions.
Yeah.
And other than having the minions react to his displeasure, what can I be doing to make him really and truly feel evil in the scene? It's a hard question.
Yeah.
Ruthless self-interest. Oh yeah. Because again, the villain is the hero of their story and they want to win. Yeah.
One of the most uncomfortable, I'm sorry about that. I'm bouncing around and I'm
flickering at us.
Flicker. the one of my characters, in one of the books that I was talking about before we went on, the most uncomfortable scene I wrote was him making my main character peel somebody's nails off in a
Ooh,
torture scene to try to get information.
ooh, I like it.
And he did it at gunpoint because he wasn't going to, my main character wasn't going to do it. But Charlie pulled out a gun and said, "Do it."
Oof.
Oh yes. Yeah,
Ooh,
because they were
that is,
trying to
oof.
find the mole in the organization. And of
Yep.
course, my main character didn't really want to do it because he was the mole. So yes, but having that, you know, and he was cool and calm and what you would, think of
I
a
like that when your villain can do evil things but still remain very calm,
yeah.
very ordered, very mannered.
It's like, okay, then you die. Basically, that
I'm not
was
gonna
his
get angry. I'm just gonna
ultimatum.
kill you.
Yep, yep,
Bye.
yep. Exactly. It's your
Makes me think of
choice.
my
It's like
my
it's your
Zoe,
choice. You live or
my
die
Zoe.
based
Her,
on you.
that's right. You're in control here. You
Yep,
decide whether or not you're dying.
yep. Pretty much. Isn't that awful?
No, no, that's exactly like it's kind of like the parental figure having to dole out punishment.
Yeah,
I'm not in charge of when you're in trouble. You're actually in charge of when you're in trouble. I just have to hand out the punishment when you get in trouble.
right.
You have complete
Right.
control. So I like that in the villain dynamic. It's you are the one who caused the problem. I'm just executing punishment. Sorry, you have to die.
Yes.
I got another one from Anita. One of the worst villain scenes I wrote was a husband beating his wife's sister to death while she's listening, locked in a closet, just to break the wife to his will. Ooh, that's evil.
That is.
Oh, I
That
love
is.
it, Anita. That is brutal. And yeah,
Yeah.
villains going after the pressure points using other
Hmm.
people is definitely a good villain thing to lean into.
Hmm.
Especially when you've got somebody who won't talk. Well, okay, fine. We're not going to torture you. We're going to find somebody you love and torture them in front of you.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
I love that. I love that. That's
Oh,
beautifully evil.
yeah. Yeah.
Evil is a topic for today.
Yes, it is.
I think everybody's kind of in an evil mood, though. It's either the heat or it's the economy or people are really just evil lately. It feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I asked a question. You were part of the chat that I asked, can somebody who played the villain in one book be redeemed in the next?
It depends. It really
Yeah.
depends.
Yep.
Because redemption arcs are pretty popular. A lot of people love
Hmm.
to show that redemption arc, but there are some things you don't come back from.
Right.
We actually talked about that on the I was doing Tan Talks over on the
Hmm.
Plotaholics about the
Hmm.
Obi-Wan series. No spoilers. I won't give out any
Hmm.
spoilers, but please go watch it if you want them. Where characters do certain things that I'm sorry, now that they've done it, I can no longer see them in a positive light.
Hmm.
Things
Right.
like torturing children, killing children, going
Mhm.
after pets.
Yeah,
Like
none of those things my character did.
when you hurt the most innocent of creatures, I think that's
Mm,
where that line becomes, yeah, you've crossed it, you can't go back.
mm, mm.
That's
Yeah,
a
but I've got a new plot that actually addresses some of oh good they found it. Sorry. My husband came out here and he started to ask me about the movie we watched last night that I have for 48 hours that he wanted to show. But
okay.
anyway, but he has a plausible reason for doing a lot of bad things he did,
Okay.
but they weren't. Well, the last thing was pretty shitty.
Laughing
So
was
that,
pretty shitty.
yes, the last thing was pretty shitty.
We laugh at all kinds of things that we shouldn't laugh at. I don't consider that a character flaw. I mean, come on, if somebody falls down in front of you, even if you know they got hurt, there's still that even before you
Yes.
go, oh, I'm sorry, are you okay? There's still that moment of laughing because
I yes, I've done that. I did that, when I was working with or commuting with my father. We were walking across the street and we stepped off the curb and I kept walking and I turned around and he's on his hands and knees and I burst out laughing. and this little old lady helped him.
oh,
And his daughter is just in hysterics.
see, laughing can't be considered a don't come back.
Yeah.
We do. It's human nature to laugh at that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, let's see. I think it's easier if you move a villain to anti-hero, but redemption is possible.
Yeah, he's still a secondary character, but he has played a lot of strife in the life in life, and the alternative, which is where I didn't want to go, is
Kill him?
patricide.
Patricide?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, how do I not make that happen?
I love that you're thinking of ways not to kill people. That's beautiful.
This is, yes. It's like, okay, maybe Bible study is doing something. but yes. Well, I'm just like, has he done stuff that is really irredeemable? With the thing that I thought up in my head as the plausible why.
Okay.
Well,
it's all in how you play it off too.
Right. And I can't give too much away because it'll just ruin the entire series. So this is the Shades of Night series, people. And book 2 comes out on July 5th. My birthday. So make my birthday happy, buy it.
Shades of Night series?
Yeah.
That one?
Yes. Crooked Sword is coming out on July 5th. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's so soon.
No kidding. It's done. The paperback, I think, should be out soon because I pressed publish on Amazon because I was like, it's my anniversary. Boom, publish. I don't have the ability to pre-order a paperback on Amazon yet.
No, you still have to do the Ingram method of pre-order in order to get it to show up. But Ingram lately has been disappointing. I'm not as happy with them as I used to be.
I figured, well, the paperback will be out a couple weeks before the ebook, so on Amazon.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Soft releases are fine.
Barnes and Noble, it'll be out on the 5th because they allow you to do pre-orders.
Come on, Amazon. You can do everything else. Why can't you do this?
I know. It's like, hey, you aren't my only one anymore.
I still need to work on my villain. That's my conundrum for the weekend. Is I've got to work on my villains, his scenes, and unfortunately in this book it's not his main book, so he's not in a lot of the influential scenes, but he's there so that we have seeded the big reveal come the next book, and so I do have to make his scenes feel intimidating and show his power and the reason everyone's afraid of him. And I've been having a lot of imposter syndrome. Years into the game, I still get imposter syndrome just like everyone else.
We all do. It's like, the questioning of, okay, will this work? And I'm like, a part of my brain is like, just do it.
When you get like notes back from the editor, it's like, this is great, make him more evil. But I thought I made it really evil.
Okay, here's your line. Here's my evil line. Go up to my evil line.
like, I'm having panic attacks. I'm like, my character's not evil enough, and I thought he was evil.
So ask yourself, what would Jane do?
What would Jane do?
What would
I need to
Jane
make
do?
that a t-shirt.
Yes. So yeah.
How can I better intimidate my minions? What would Jane do? She'd kill someone. Oh, great. I need to find someone to kill.
Yes. Or torture. or oversee the torture. That's even worse.
Yes. Well, no, I do actually get to use him for a little torture because he has to show his minion how to do it properly. Which I thought was evil, but apparently not evil.
Instruct his minion and make his minion do it wrong. And then have to do it again and again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Meanwhile, the poor victim is just, stop, no.
Yep. Oh, yes.
I said a clean cut.
Yes.
Do you even know where the navel is?
Yes. Yeah.
That could be fun.
Fingernails.
Oh, yes. That one always gets me. They pulling the fingernails or the bamboo under the finger. Anything with the fingernails. That hurts.
Yes.
By the way, I am such a baby that I would instantly give up all information at the threat of torture because I could not handle it. You're going to do what? No. I will give you whatever you need.
This is what you need. I will draw it for you.
You're going to kill tens of thousands of people. That's fine. Just do not shove bamboo stalks under my fingernails.
No, it was with pliers. Mine was with pliers. Oh. With the needle nose pliers.
I love it.
Yes. Researching that was interesting.
How about you? Would you be able to be trusted under torture?
Oh, I have a pretty high tolerance for pain.
I'm a wuss.
It depends on what I was safeguarding.
Okay.
You know, if it was a recipe, no. I would give it up in a second.
Proper torture is important, but real evil would make the victim a friend or family member of the minion. Interesting. Okay. Again, go after the loved ones. I always like that because you really play on their emotions there, and you get to 2 for 1 basically.
Yeah. Yeah, but that starts the seeds of revenge. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just have to uproot the whole thing. Yep. Just wipe them all out. I'd make a good villain.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been an evil kind of theme this year, and I'm one step away from becoming a villain. I swear. We need some positivity out there.
Yeah. That's why I'm taking Bible study.
There you go. We got to have something to look forward to. I did pass my first year astrology.
Yes.
I passed the test with flying colors, and I'm on to year 2 now, where I get to finally learn some of these timing techniques that confuse the hell out of me. So this next year will be all
include math.
Yeah, there's some math in there.
I would fail.
Yeah.
Math is not my strong suit.
And one of the ones I'm most interested in learning is the zodiacal releasing, because apparently I have some important periods coming up. And I have no clue what they mean, because I don't remember how to do the thing where you estimate what's good, what's bad, and where things are, and what the period is supposed to look like, and if it's a prep period or if it's a final period. I have no clue. So I'm just like, I know there's some important dates coming up. I don't know what they mean. So I will hopefully finally get some understanding of that.
Well, I'm trying not to freak out because I have to write 2 books between now and September.
That's a really short time frame. What's the word count you're looking to do?
Minimum 50 on the 3rd book in the Shades of Night, and then 20 to 30. It'll probably be around 25 on the fractured fairy tale.
Okay, so we're under 80,000 words. You could do that.
Yeah. I just have to do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yep. And I have to work on the class that I'm going to be teaching for Combat Con, because each of the team members has a specific class they're teaching, and then we're all coming together to do the.
Are you teaching villains?
I'm teaching conflict.
Ooh, okay.
Fun topic, but it's also one that I feel like I have too much information to explain in the short amount of time that I'm going to have to explain it, and still give my class time to write. So I'm having to like really weigh out what's important. And it's hard because I'm like, but I need to explain everything.
It's like writing a blurb.
Oh, I hate blurbs. I'm too wordy. That's why I write long form.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting better at them. And it's funny because I do better when I write it before I write the book.
Interesting.
Because I have the idea of book 3 and I just wrote the blurb. And, I was looking at it and I actually went back to my editor and said, I'm stuck. Does this make sense? And she reworded one sentence that I was like, there.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what I needed.
That's the thing with short form writing is those words and certain sentences really make that big of a difference, which is what makes it so hard. All right, Anita says, I have 2 books and 1 story to edit plus write a short story. Good Lord, Anita, you're loading up with a lot of stuff to do. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Yeah. And I have 2 summer vacations with guests. So 2 weeks of that time is gone.
Speaking of summer, I don't even know what to do with my kids. Is that sad or what?
Wet them down.
we go to the community pool every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But what else do I do? It's so freaking hot that you don't want to go outside.
Right.
Going to the water park I didn't get passes. So it means it's kind of like a once a season thing that we're probably going to do. And I want to make it a family day. So I have to coordinate it with my oldest, who is her schedule's still up in the air. So I don't know when we're going to do that. But other than that, I'm at a loss. I mean, we have MMA classes twice a week. We have rock climbing classes at the rec center on Mondays. So, I mean, we have normal activities, but it doesn't feel like summer fun activities. It just feels like just the daily grind. And I'm like, I feel bad. Like, what are we doing?
Well, you can't always give them downtime. Yeah. That's important because if you're always busy, they'll always expect that. So you've got to give them,
Zoe needs to be kept busy. She does not do good being bored. That's a reduced schedule, Anita. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, does she like puzzles?
Yeah. No, she doesn't have the patience for that. She likes physical activities, which is why MMA has been perfect for her. She really enjoys those classes. Belt testing is coming up soon, so she will hopefully be qualified to test for her next belt. I'll find out in a week or so if she's made the qualifications, because it's not a guarantee. They test 3 times a year, so if they have gotten to a certain level, they're allowed to test. So fingers crossed that she's made it. But that's why it's so good for her, because it's a lot of physical activity that she can kind of, get moving, get that energy out. Same thing with rock climbing. She loves rock climbing. And even Hunter this year, he's really happy with it.
They look really good at that.
They both made it to the top. I'm so proud of them. That it's a 3-story high rock wall.
That's awesome.
They both made it to the top at least once.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, when we're home, like if she can't find something to do to keep her busy at home, if her friends aren't online playing the games that they play, she's up my butt going, Mom, let's do something. Mom, let's do something. Mom, let's do something. And I work from home. So a lot of the time when we're home, I'm trying to get some work done. And you know how interruptions really affect writing work.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
I've
just
got to make
trying to.
sure she's occupied and happy so that I can do things when my scheduled time to do things is happening.
Yeah. And she's 6, 7.
She's 8.
She's 8. Okay. 8. Wow. Time went by too fast.
Didn't it? Yeah. Hunter's on the opposite side of the spectrum. He will entertain himself for hours. He's always been easy like that. And I feel bad. Typical middle child. Entertains himself, does his own thing, tries not to make too many waves at home. I mean, he's so easy that it's I feel bad that he doesn't get more attention because Zoe demands all of the attention. So like he'll get on the VR and he'll play, he'll get on his phone and he'll chat with his friends. He'll go into his room and I won't see him for the whole day and be like, where'd Hunter go? What happened?
That was Billy versus Vicky. And I'm trying to think. I made Vicky do a lot of coloring.
I'm thinking of teaching her.
My internet.
The internet agrees. It's flashing. Yes, do that. We used to have a bucket of coloring books, and they've kind of outgrown it. Zoe has shown an interest in sewing, and maybe I could teach her how to Frankenstein her toys back together. That could be an interesting activity.
My daughter did quilting.
Okay.
She did a quilt, but she was like 10. So, it's around-ish, the age range. But, she started sewing things together and making quilts or making things like that. So, those could be.
Okay.
Teach her cross stitching.
When she was in
school, the cross stitch and have her do that, the counted cross stitch.
That could be something too. It's definitely good manual dexterity.
Yeah.
When she was in school, totally not prompted by me or the teachers, she was writing a story with her friends. I was so happy. I never had to see it because they didn't finish it, but she would come home at the end of the day and she would tell me during their brain break when they get to go outside and play, her and her 2 other friends would go sit down and write pages of stories that they were creating. And I thought that was amazing, but I don't want to like nudge her too much in that direction because I don't want her to feel pressured, following mom's footsteps and all that. But if she likes storytelling, that could be good for her too.
Yeah. Billy started that at 12. That's when he said, "Hey mom." Well, he may have been writing before then, but that was when he pitched the Death Chronicles to me.
I still think that's amazing. You guys wrote a series together.
Yep.
That is so cool.
Yeah. The first book was fun, sitting there and making him, think outside the box and pull information out of a 12-year-old. I still love that.
And then the way that they
see get as red as I look.
What's that?
He'd get as red as I look when I'd ask him the questions. Well, what did it feel like when he kissed her? What did her hair smell like? I mean, those are the questions that he was just like, oh, and like, you got to think of these things.
That's true.
It was, you can't just say she did this and then this and then this and then this. You have to build more. So, and it was fun. It was fun as the mom to make him as embarrassed as he got.
On the flip side, Allie hates writing because of me.
Really?
Because I was strict with her, and she complains that I'm not nearly as strict on the littles as I was with her. She's probably right. You learn with the first. I was very strict with her when she was writing, and she would always kind of do the bare minimum, and she'd show me her homework, and I'd go, no, details, details, details. I want to see sentences that are more than 3 words. I gave her an actual word count per sentence she couldn't go under to force her to write more.
Okay.
I kept having her add more details to things. Yeah. So she hated writing, absolutely hated it. But by the time she got into high school, she was getting easy A's in all of her English classes. And I guess in talking with her friends, she was like, yeah, my mom always forced me to do this. And they're like, can we have your mom? And she's like, no, she's horrible.
Well, we've had Billy on the show. He's like, she's tough. I didn't, and Vicky never had the interest in writing, but I understood she didn't think the same way as me when she had to write something, how to describe a rainbow in a class. And I'm like, well, just close your eyes, envision it, and write what you see. And both she and my husband looked at me like I had 3 heads. I'm like, what? You can't do that?
Wow.
And that was my first clue that not everybody thinks the same. I'm like, really? Wow, my child doesn't have that. And then there's Billy, who can step into the world just like I can and just, lose yourself, lose the here and now and be wherever your mind wants you to go.
I'm going to have that problem with Hunter too. I don't think Zoe's going to be as much of a problem. She seems to be on that creative writing end, especially doing it in 2nd grade already, but I'm not going to push her. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let her enjoy it and show me what she's doing. Hunter, on the other hand, oh man, he's worse than Allie was when it comes to writing. He doesn't want to write anything at all. And even when you give him like word count limits for his sentences to try and get him to put more stuff in, I mean, he will like nickel and dime you. You said exactly this many words, and I have got exactly this many words. He hates writing, but he's so creative visually, though. So
yeah, I mean, that's where I'm like, just, what do you see? If you envision it, what do you see? And it's really weird because my husband went to school for architecture and he could draft buildings like nobody's business. And I'm like, don't you just envision that though? When you walk into an empty room, can you envision? It's like, and I'm like, am I the only one with like the Ally McBeal syndrome that can just...
I don't know. I think it's like different sides of the brain because, you can visualize and describe, or you can just put it down on the page. And it's not that extra step of visualizing it in your head and then translating it. It's just a direct translation. And even Hunter, in a lot of his writing assignments, he would draw pictures.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay,
well,
he's
Vicky would bake. Vicky would bake. That's how she got through high school. She would, for math things, she'd bake cupcakes with math equations on them. Yeah. So, but she also went to a dance high school, so it was a little different. So she could be more creative.
That's awesome.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, to this day, Allie still hates writing. But her writing is so much better because I drilled it into her. But she refuses. She will never let me. Ever since she got into high school, all 4 years, she refused to let me see any of her homework because she didn't want me to nitpick her.
Yep.
And I at that point I was hands off. I drilled into her all throughout elementary and middle school, and I was like, now it's your turn to take the reins. I'm going to back off. If I see your grades slipping, I will of course step in. But as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, I'm going to leave you alone to do it. And she did. But I never saw another English paper when she hit high school.
So, viewers who are not writers or who are married to writers and thinking about having children, this is what you have to look forward to. The nitpicky moms or the nitpicky fathers when they look at the writing.
It's cute though when I see like Zoe's little friend. She's very much gonna be a writer, I think, when she's older. She's a ravenous reader, even at 2nd grade. She's reading far above her level, and she wants to write stories, and she's so cute. She's like, Miss Katie, will you edit my stories for me? And I kind of looked at her and was like, you don't want me to edit those? Sure, honey, take a look at them, because I'm not going to hurt that poor little girl's feelings with the way that I edit. But it's adorable to see her so interested at such a young age. And if she's already doing it now, she's already crafting stories now, she'll definitely be creating for a long time and have probably some good stuff by the time she's old enough to publish.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. We were always tough on the kids.
Yeah, and I don't want to hurt feelings. And I just, it doesn't sound mean when I say it, but apparently it is.
However, it teaches them to have thicker skin, which you absolutely need if you're going to publish something, because not everybody's going to love it.
That is true. And I have adopted over the last few years the meme strategy of softening the blow. When I do edit work, I tend to add memes into the sidelines to help just, get a little giggle out of you before I tear your work apart.
Before I slay.
Because I don't mean it to be mean, but a lot of times I'm very matter of fact with my comments. And you've read my comments before.
Yeah.
It's not mean. It's just, here's what needs to be fixed. Just plain and simple.
Here's what's wrong. Here's what needs to be fixed. Yeah. I'd see. I can feel. I would much prefer that than the coddling.
Yeah.
I am not a coddler. That's why, Jason calls me the bitch with the red pen.
As
he'd get my edits, he'd read them, he'd grit his teeth and walk away. These are his words. And then he'd come back and look at them and go, okay, yeah, she's right.
I would prefer it too, as opposed to some editing comments that I've gotten back that are like, bring this character to life.
Make him more evil.
What does that mean? What do you specifically want me to do? Tell me specifically what I'm not doing to bring this character to life. Because when you say something objective like that, I'm like, or subjective, not objective. I'm like, I don't know what that means. What did I not do? Please explain.
Or there's grammatical errors on the first page. Well, what? Show me. Tell me, explain to me what errors there are.
Yes. Let's put a pin right there, because I know a lot of people look at you when you say I'm an author and they're like, oh my God, you have to have perfect writing. No, authors need editors.
Yes.
We're not perfect at grammar. That's why we need editors. They make us look good.
Exactly. And I know I am woefully comma deficient. And you are woefully comma.
Shatner comma ain't got nothing on me.
Yep. Between the two of us, we somehow blended into not so bad.
Yeah. I think together we made it okay.
Yes. And then the editor made it shine.
Yeah, even though I work as an editor, I still have to smack my own hand a lot of times going, you can't do that. Stop it. Because I just want I want to pepper commas in everywhere. Dang it.
Yes.
I like all the natural pauses. Okay.
Yeah. And I did, when I got that back from somebody, I did get, you have a situation where you have simultaneous action that can't occur together. Like, oh, I know how to fix that. Thank you. That it's not really grammatical. It's more because the grammar in it was correct. It was more the story bound, not grammatical. So it's like, okay, that I understand when you tell me that. When you say it's a grammatical mistake and I'm looking and I'm not finding grammatical errors,
right?
That's more of a story structure error, at least in my head, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And just as Anita is saying, if the author saw the grammatical mistake in the first place, it wouldn't be there.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, yes, I found it. I know what you said. Okay, yep.
That's great. We're playing Where's Waldo with grammar. Okay. Spot the grammatical error.
That was an assessment of I think the first chapter of Wicked Heart, by the way. It was like, I got an A+ for the cover and a B+ for the story because of comma. There was 1 or 2 comma issues and that one simultaneous thing in the first chapter. I'm like, oh, okay.
And I'm not poking fun at editors to be mean. I'm kind of laughing because I run into these kind of issues too. And believe me, we need our editors. Even
Oh,
when
we
they
do.
give us really weird notes, we love
Yeah.
our editors.
Yes,
But it
we
would be
do.
nice to just matter of fact me, please. Just
Mhm.
this right here, highlight it, fix it. This is wrong. This needs this. You didn't do this. Okay, point it out. I'm happy to fix it.
And
Don't
by the
give me
way,
something like bring the
Mm.
character to life. What does it mean?
I know, exactly. Well, our favorite editor's back.
What?
Mhm.
When did she
So
come
we
back?
got to get writing, honey. We got to get writing.
Oh, yay!
Yes. Yes, Lindsay's back.
When did she come back?
I think I first saw it, what month is it? April or May. She posted something.
I'm so glad
That's the second book in September. I'm like,
you're
okay,
already on the schedule.
She's back. Throw that in there. But I'm keeping my other editor too, because I already have her scheduled to the end of the year. So maybe I'll stagger.
Here's a question for our listeners and our audience out here. And if you're listening after the fact, please feel free to drop a comment on our YouTube channel so we can see it, because we do check. How do you find your editors? Because there's always a question of, you've got a story out, you're ready to publish it. If you're new to publishing, how do you find them? And a lot of us who've been around the block for a while, we have our stable of editors we trust. So how do you find the editor you want to use for your next book project?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. I mean, for us, Lindsay was part of a set that I was in way back when. And then I saw she did services. And I'm like, okay, I liked her books that she had out. They were clean. Yes, she didn't edit them.
Never edit your own work.
Yeah. But I also read some of the ones she did edit. I'm like, I like her style. Mm-hmm. And then I had her, do a sample.
She's fast too.
Really, oh yeah, she's fast.
Wow.
She's a little slower now because she still has that full-time job.
Oh, I thought she was able to get rid of the full-time job.
No. So it's a supplemental thing.
Totally understandable.
So she's, instead of turning it around in a week like she used to, I think her average time now is 14 days.
Okay.
So 2 weeks, but
hey, that's still fast compared to me. Most of my clients know it takes me usually around a month to do a full manuscript. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to do all the nitty gritty stuff. If it's just like a proofreading pass, sure, that's fast. But we're doing full developmental editing. I'm blocking out a month for that, because there will be lots of notes. There will be lots of communication.
Exactly.
It's a process. And I'm a slow reader. Admittedly, I've always been a slow reader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I found her. We found my publishing house found the Faith Williams, which is who I use now, since Lindsay went away.
Right.
But we use Faith for the publishing house, and I went back to her. She's done a couple of my things, but then I found Lindsay, and I love Lindsay. Lindsay and I jived beautifully. But yeah, Christy is another fantastic editor.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yep. And she's part of the indie circle. Like we all know her in different capacities. She's a wonderful person. She's a great writer. She's a wonderful editor. Very good. I've never heard any negative comments about her editing. And just an all-around nice person too. Mm-hmm. And I like that in the past through Facebook groups. It's that community feel again. I like that.
Yep. And the really good thing to do when you're looking for an editor as a new person is get a sample edit. Yep. Because then you'll know if it's somebody who works with your voice, works with your genre, because that's a big thing. If it's somebody who works with mysteries and you're doing urban fantasy, it might not jive.
And if their style of editing matches your needs too, because there are different levels of editing that you might be looking for, and certain editors are better at some levels than others.
Right. exactly. Exactly. So, yeah.
I mean, I found my recent, of course, I haven't published anything in a while. My recently used editor was through you.
Hmm.
It's the community feel. You find out from other indie authors
Hmm.
who they like working with, who they would recommend, because indies will
Hmm.
tell you who we've had good and bad experiences with.
Oh,
We
yeah.
will promote those who we feel are worth promoting to keep the cycle going.
Yeah. I tried a new editor, and I got the stuff back, and I had the Atwater group, which is Faith Williams, already scheduled for that same book. So I sent it to her thinking it would be cleaner. It was not. So it's like, okay. Faith is really picky. So the comment that I had from the for the book that's out there for the first chapter, that comma was my error on editing. And it was probably one of the mystery. I put it in somewhere and it didn't show up. which my mouse pad sometimes does that. If my thumb hits the pad on the computer, I'll have mystery letters in places, and I'm like, I
Okay.
just typed that. Where'd it go? So I'll have to hit, reverse, and then reverse again until the typing starts going away. So somewhere in the manuscript, this random thing shows up, and I do try to find them, but with the comma, this was actually between words, but it didn't belong there. I'm like, that was not in her edit. That was not her. That was me. So I'm like, okay, that makes me feel good. But the simultaneous things, the grammar was correct, but it's not something she pointed out. But I didn't ask her for a developmental edit. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But that's something Lindsay would have pointed out. So it's the levels here.
It's also the working relationship you have.
Right.
The longer you work with an editor, the more they understand your style.
Right.
And a lot of times you'll get more comments from them because they do know your style. They do know what you typically write. And if they see something that's maybe not in the level of edit that you requested, but they know that it would be good to address it, they'll do it.
Right. Exactly. And
because your book looking good is also a reflection on them.
Yes. I mean, the comments Faith gave me about the blurb were just so good. It was just, because I was stuck, and normally I don't send it to her until the book's ready.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I kept looking at it. I'm like, something's wrong. What is wrong? Does it make sense? So I'm like, I just sent it to her, and she took a look and came back with, one comma, because I missed a comma.
Sure.
Before I sent it to her, I actually put the comma in after I sent it to her. I'm like, oh yeah, there needs to be a comma after that word. Oh no, comma. So I was like, yay, I did something. But the other piece that she did and moved some words around and said that makes more sense. And since she's edited all the books in the series, I thought, okay, she'd have as much invested in the story than I do in that manner. So I'm like, help me.
Oh God, that brings up another fun question for our audience too. Having to change editors mid-series. Because that editor.
Thankfully we didn't. On our, yes.
Yeah. Because when you change editors mid-series and they don't have that same relationship with your characters that the previous one did, it becomes a little more difficult. And a lot of times their notes might not make as much sense because they're looking at practical versus the character you've built over
not the story arc that you've been building. Yeah. Thankfully, I have not gone to somebody mid.
I've done it once, and it was almost painful because I have to remember everything too. And
Yes.
you know, sometimes if it's been a while, you miss a few things. But having to just explain everything, it's like, oh, I
Mhm.
wish I had created something that I could just hand over and go, here you go. Here's the series,
Mhm.
you know, up to now. And I don't create those things. I know a lot of people do.
Mhm.
And in that
Well,
situation, it would have been helpful.
that is one great thing about Faith. She does on each book a character sheet,
Oh,
who they are, what their relationships is. It's fantastic, and
okay.
she does that with every edit, along with the readability stats. But it's
Awesome.
just like it's like okay, hmm, So I I can go back and look at that little quick thing for her. I think it's for her as well. The first description,
Yeah,
and
it
she's
helps,
caught me.
especially if she's reading a
She
lot of
has,
books.
yep, and she has caught me. You said his eyes were green up here. They're
Oh,
blue here.
that's a good editor.
Yes.
Yay.
Yep. And I think that's why she does the little, the character things for herself too.
Yeah, that makes
Because
a
it's like,
lot of
ooh,
sense.
like you said back on page 15 this, and this is a contradiction. Did you mean that?
Oh,
So she
I
has
love
that
that.
a few times. Oh yeah.
I love when they
So
can catch the continuity for you because it's
yep,
so easy to oops, you know, especially when you've
yep,
been writing the series for so long. There are some details you miss. Now,
yep.
Anita says that changing editors helped in
Helped
her
her in
case.
her case.
Oh, can you expand on that, Anita? I like that we have a positive here. Because
Yes.
a lot of times for me, it felt frustrating, but if you do get a good positive reaction from it,
Mhm.
that could be, you know, could be nice.
Yeah. And I bet your series that you did was the one you still need to finish. Because
Get right on that.
that one has so many complexities to it, and
I need to actually go back on that one because it's been so long since I've touched it
Mhm,
that I do need to refresh my memory of a lot
mhm,
of the details. And I still have a block on that one.
mm,
There's a mental block surrounding that book for some reason.
mm.
Like every time I think, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm like, something is telling me no.
Not yet. It's not ready yet. So we need to do our trilogy.
We do need to do
Yes.
our trilogy. I think that would be a nice palate cleanser.
Yes. Yes.
Get
Yes.
into another world. I haven't been able to write a magical creature in a while because my day
Mhm,
job type stuff has
mhm,
been mostly in the mystery realm. So
mhm.
I kind of miss the paranormal stuff. That's my baby. That's what I write.
Ye-
I need some more
Yes.
magic and some shifters and some fun escapades
And
to
some
happen.
Faye and
I need it. I
oh
think I
yes.
need that. And
Yeah.
though I wonder, are we going to write as well as we did the last one?
Yeah.
There's always the
I
worry.
think we will.
Like I said, I've been plagued with imposter syndrome this last week.
My my Bert nose itches. Sorry, people.
All right. So Anita says that she had deadline issues with her editor on the second book, so switching made things easier. So it was less
Mhm.
about the continuity issues, more about speediness, getting out on your schedule. That's a positive.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, that
definitely a
is.
positive.
Huh.
Paranormal mysteries. Oh, I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. A little bit of magic, little bit of mystery, who done it.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
do like mysteries. And I never thought that would be a fun genre to write in, but
It is.
I do love the paranormal.
Mhm.
That's where my heart's at. I miss writing fantasy creatures in modern day settings.
Yeah. Absolutely. Huh.
Oh,
Itchy nose.
is
Itchy
it
nose.
peeling? Are you starting to get
No,
the
no, it just itches now. It's just like right here. And it is burnt. The redness you see is real redness.
Are you making sure to
I'm
put your sunscreen on?
Yes, I have the suntan lotion, but being out there from 9 a.m. until 4,
Ooh,
as there's
Anita's got me
just
sold.
chatting.
Dead
Yeah.
bodies and monsters in a steampunk setting.
Ooh,
I like that.
interesting. Interesting.
Ooh, I do like that.
Hmm.
Reading for pleasure is something I still haven't gotten back to.
Yeah, I have a paperback here up in Maine that I want to read on my vacation. If I will allow myself to read instead of write.
That's always the
And it
problem.
and it will be in the evenings because the littles will be down because we'll have the 4-year-old and the 1-year-old. No
Oh,
dog. No
no.
dog. And the mama and the papa end up usually going to bed by 9 unless we're playing games.
Wow.
If we're playing games, I won't be reading or writing. I'll be drinking.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, and out by the fire. So so it's just like, okay, I want to do that, but I have to make a certain word count now. Now that I'm, puttered around between the books and played with graphics. Oh, since we're, talking about releases, um, Shifters Ever After came out on at the beginning of June,
Do
which
we have
has
that?
Belle in it. It
Do we
has
have that one?
I don't think you do.
Oh no.
Hold
Wait.
on.
Nope, that's not it.
No, I don't
No,
know
I
if you
don't
have
have it.
Belle. Hold, please.
Gotta show.
And it's in Kindle Unlimited too. So,
I've got
um,
one coming out soon too.
mhm.
I know I said I haven't been really writing my stuff lately, but I have. I it wasn't intended for my name to be on the book, but as
You've
it
done so
was
much.
worked on, the author's like, no, you're not just a ghostwriter. Your name's going on this book because
Yeah.
I put a lot of heart and soul into it, and it was a difficult project because it was very triggering for me, but it's going to be very helpful to others, and that
Yes.
was what made it worth it. Oh yes.
Yes. So my Beauty and the Beast retelling is out in Shifters Ever After. It's also in paperback on off of my website. So
Okay, who did the cover for Shifters Ever After?
I don't know.
That looks like a
Um,
Wilson cover.
it might be. I mean, Gina Kincaid is
Oh,
the
yeah, then it's probably Wilson. That's
yeah.
very much his style. I love the way
Yep.
he does it.
Yep. So that's Shifters Ever After, and Belle is in it, and Belle was done by Core Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So
After a while, you start to really pick up the different the
yeah.
creator styles. You can almost tell just by looking at him. Oh, that's this person. That's that person.
I can
This
find
one's
out for next time.
this one's
I love
coming
that
out
one.
very soon. This one is going to be August 26th, which I believe is International Women's Day.
Oh, okay.
But
I
yeah,
like. I'm so glad you went with that one. It
yeah.
goes so well with the first one.
I loved the colors initially, and actually it was Allie who helped me decide on the final covers because the original version of this cover
Hmm.
was more on the teal spectrum. And
Okay.
we went a little bit more with the purple hues and toned down the teal, and I think it really works.
Yes. Yes, it does. It
And
does. And
again, Virginia is the creator of the Soldier's Guide. This was adapted from her Soldier's Guide, but meant for
mhm,
women. So we focused on a lot of traumas that women go through and the
mhm,
compounding of that trauma that can create PTSD and the different things specific to women on how we can acknowledge what's been happening and understand it is not our fault and find
mhm.
ways to heal. And so it became a passion project.
Yeah.
And next week, we're actually going to be talking about it. We're going to have Virginia on,
Okay.
and
Oh,
we're
good.
going to take a little deep dive into the creation of the book, how it is different than the Soldier's Guide, who it's geared towards, all that good stuff. So that way you guys get more in-depth view before the release. And I really hope it's going to be helpful.
It looked it. I mean, I got a view into the formatting, which was Katie's hell for a while.
It is my own fault too, because I'm like, it needs to be visually appealing, and it just means extra
Yes,
work.
it does. And it is. You achieved that. So that is really good.
Oh, I try. All right. So what's going on in the next couple of weeks? Anything? We said the book releases.
You have the July one for me, and then the rest of mine are October. So I've got the July Crooked Soul that's coming out. So that's book 2 of Shades of. I almost said Shades of Grey. Whoops! Shades of Night. Book 3 will be out on October 4th. So will Rituals and Runes, which has Jasmine. So I have that, and then on the 11th of October, Hook comes out. So that's number 10. So I'll have all 10 Fractured Fairy Tales out in the wild.
Awesome.
Yes. And then I got to get the hardcover special edition of all 10 for some. I think that'll come in January, or
your formatting hell.
Maybe, yeah, my formatting hell. That'll have to come out in 2023 because I have to wait 6 months after the Rituals and Runes to get Jasmine back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It'll be out in paperback though. So,
okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. For me, August, I have the Women's Guide to PTSD. Oh, July. Can't forget about July.
Yes,
we have Combat Con.
Forget about that.
July 21st through 24th. There is still time to get your passes so that you can attend, especially if you're a local. If you're not, there are some discount codes available for the Flamingo, which is where Combat Con will be held at. If you want more information, post it in the comments. Give me a way to reach you, and I will talk to you about the discount codes that are available to see if that can make it easier for you to travel out there. It will be July 21st through 24th, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Flamingo Hotel. There is so much going on that weekend. It is going to be an amazing event. If you are a writer, a fighter, a stunt actor, or just somebody who is interested in martial arts in various forms, there's something for everybody there, and it's going to be an amazing weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So post a comment, let me know how to reach out to you, and we can discuss, some of the available discounts that might help make it easier for you to get out there. Other than that, I'm also doing Tan Talks with Brian. We're covering the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and the final episode comes out next Wednesday. So we'll be recording our final thoughts very soon. Head over to the Plotaholics to check that out, as well as a lot of their other amazing recaps that they do. They cover a lot of great shows, a lot of great movies. It's always a fun time with those guys. Yeah. All right. I think we've about covered it. Next week, guys, we will be back. We are talking about the PTSD Guide for Women. We will have the other author there. So you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to know about the book, let us know. Be active in the chat. We want you to be there.
Yeah, that's going to be a good. Virginia is always an excellent person to listen to.
Tell how passionate she is about helping others.
Yes, exactly.
All right, guys. Until then, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.